2020, but not at speedways. 7 people are being held in a jail in Billerica, Massachusetts, and they have tested positive for coronavirus. 6 of those who tested positive are part of a minimum security work release program. Those 6 are believed to have contracted the virus outside the Middlesex Jail and House of Correction. The 7th person who tested positive entered the jail after previously testing positive while in the community. Around 400 workers at the Brooks Brothers factory in Haverhill, Massachusetts will lose their jobs, and there will be no severance next month. Brooks Brothers has filed for bankruptcy and is closing the factory next month. Workers at the factory have a collective bargaining agreement that does not call for any separation pay. Brooks Brothers is also closing more than 50 of its 250 stores, including 6 in the greater Boston area.
Hi, this is Gary Smith. Join me for Do You Remember, Tuesday through Friday mornings at 9:30 here on ON Radio.
Rhode Island Governor Gina Raimondo held her first coronavirus briefing in a week's time yesterday and said the plan starting next week is to only try to have one once a week on Wednesdays. Raimondo said the state is continuing to trend in the right direction against the pandemic with
Good morning, and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsockеtradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
And a good morning to you. It is Coffee Ann time on ON Radio. It's Friday morning. It's July 10th. Oh, it's my sister's birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy
sister.
Happy birthday, Donna. She is
young, older, younger.
Oh, older. Hang on. I gotta find out my birthday first to figure out hers. It's over 60, so just leave it at that.
I hope she's not listening.
Oh, she's an older sister.
She's an older.
But we won't rub that in.
Older than me. Anyway, Paul Willett is here from the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning, Joe.
I thought I heard his voice.
Dave Richards is right over there. Good morning, Dave.
I am? Hey, hi there. How are you?
All right, it's time for your first message from the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce, so it's over to Paul because he knows all about that.
Well, thank you. Yesterday I was having a conversation with Leslie Pelagi, my coworker, and she said, "I'm excited." She said, "I feel like we're alive again, like things are starting to happen." Mm-hmm. We're talking about golf tournament and events, so we're slowly getting back to I guess what would be considered the new normal, but we're excited that things are starting to happen. So. With that said, we do have a virtual event coming up on the 22nd, and that's going to be James Glassman. He's the chief economist for J.P. Morgan Chase. He's going to be talking about global issues, what happens after COVID-19, and he's going to specifically be talking about Rhode Island as well. So. That's a free event. We're calling it Lunch and Learn because it's at noontime. And you just go online, register, and once you register, the day before, you'll get a Zoom link for that. But the excitement that Leslie was talking about was that we have our first in-person event in 4 months, and that's taking place on the 28th. And it's going to be the Women's Business Council networking event, and that's going to be at Troop, Providence. It's on Valley Street in Providence. It is going to be, we're keeping our fingers crossed that, weather permitting, it's going to be outside in the courtyard. They're going to be adhering to social distancing. You're going to be required to wear a mask. So if you plan on attending that event, we ask you to bring your mask. We'll probably have a few on hand in the event that someone forgets, and we're just having a conversation. I don't know how many times I've gone out, and if I go right up to the door and it hits me that I don't have my mask on, so I got to go back to the car. But anyway, we're looking forward to that on the 28th. And then next month, on the 25th, we have another Women's Business Council event. That's going to be a lunch, and that's going to be at Kirkbrae. And we're excited about that because it's the first event that we're going to be having at Kirkbrae since they've done their renovations. They did some extensive work there, so happy about that. And the other thing I want to mention is that our golf tournament that's coming up on September 15th. The Kirkbrae, like many other courses, are holding tournaments. They're a little different. So instead of sitting down for a lunch with a buffet, you're going to have a box lunch. And for dinner, instead of a buffet, it's going to be a sit-down dinner. So they're going to be taking care of us there. All golfers will have their own cart, unless you live in the same household. You can share a cart. But, the golf industry, like many other industries, have had to make changes. And we're looking forward to it. As a matter of fact, if anyone out there was thinking about playing in our tournament, it's one of the few social distancing things that are possible because, you go out there and you're only a group of four on a particular hole. So
And it's a non-contact sport.
right,
so
right.
you can
Well,
stand away.
if you've ever played with me, it could be a contact sport. But no, that's something that's almost sold out. We only have a room for I think 20 more players. So we're very excited that that's going to be taking place. So those are a few things that we have coming up. If anybody's interested in registering for any of those, they can visit our website at nrichamber.com, or they can call the chamber at 334-1000, and we'd be happy to get them registered.
All right. Off-air, Paul told us an amusing story about him wearing a mask and forgetting he was wearing it and tried to eat ice cream.
Yeah.
And it didn't work.
That's why they make washing machines, Paul.
Yeah. So I kind of look. It was a white mask, so with it was chocolate ice cream. It kind of looked like a koala bear there for a second, but
Well, I had something similar happen, but that I didn't come as far as you went. Oh, I was over at the Beef Barn picking up a couple of roast beef sandwiches and a chocolate shake. And so as you're walking out, you got the bag of sandwiches and you got your shake in the other hand, and you always put the straw in your mouth as you're walking out. And,
didn't work.
Well, now I can't because both hands are tied. You got to open the door. And I can't get the mask off all at the same time. So I'm like, well, this is bugging me because I want some of the shake and I can't have it right now.
Yeah, it's. I did see a prototype. I don't know if they're actually selling, but some guy had like a mask with. I guess when you open your mouth.
Yeah, the mask opens, right?
It opens. So look for one of those. John. If you're that excited about drinking a shake,
I waited till I got to.
I'm trying to picture that. Is that like a trap door, like on your union suit?
Kind of.
No. Well, no.
It flips up, doesn't it?
It was more like.
If it flips
like
up,
hinges.
it blocks your eyes, doesn't it?
It doesn't flip up that high.
It just opens up like. Well, I don't know. Anybody watching online could see me.
So you could put a straw.
You could.
Yeah. Okay, I get it.
You can even, put your fork or a spoon, whatever it is you're eating in your mouth. So
it just flips up a little.
Still sounds messy to me.
It could be if you miss.
The moral of the story is take your mask off before you go to eat.
That's right. All right, over in North Smithfield, according to the story in today's call, they have approved their unanimous approval of their 2020-2021 town budget, $46.7 million. It is a 2.7% increase of the town's tax levy. But they still have an option to enact changes from an executive order from Town Administrator Gary Izaski, just in case things change from what comes from the state.
We'll have to see what happens by the end of the month, what Congress is going to do. And, just like the state is kind of waiting to see what's going to happen with the funding.
Mm-hmm.
But, I'm sure Gary, he's been a very good administrator. And I'm sure, nobody wants to raise taxes, but you do what you have to do. So.
You're right. And what are you hearing down at the State House in terms of the budget, Paul? Anything?
We're just somewhat on hold to see
Yeah.
what's going to be happening. I mean, you can hypothesize, but it all depends on what Congress is going to do and how they're going to distribute it to the locals. So, yeah.
All right. We're still playing wait and see, huh?
Yep, pretty much.
Okay. All right. So I wanted to bring this up before I forgot about it because it's things that things that bother me.
Okay.
So it's up in Massachusetts. It really has. It doesn't affect Rhode Island at all. It doesn't affect how you're going to live your life. It doesn't affect the price of beer. Nothing like that.
Well, it's your home state, so
But,
you're probably concerned.
So well,
Why talk about it then?
because it bugs me. And
Oh,
it's,
I see.
that kind of thing. And it's the governor, Charlie Baker, has put the head of the state commission for the deaf and hard of hearing on leave. Now this man is Stephen Florio, and he was put on leave because
Way back in college. Decades ago.
in the 1980s, he admitted he wore robes that resemble the Ku Klux Klan, and he did Nazi salutes. This is 35 to 40 years ago.
You let him go.
And because it bugs me, because now I just keep rolling in my mind. What did I do? I was in college in the 1980s.
Yeah.
Did I do something?
Did you ever sober up long enough to know
I
what you
don't-
did in college?
That's right. I go. What's gonna? Is something? I don't remember a lot of pictures being taken, so maybe that was a good thing.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, did I do anything in college, high school, that could now be considered? Ooh, that you should. Since you did that then,
Yeah.
Dave's gonna fire me.
I'm sure. I'm
Yeah.
sure you.
I'm going to get the letter. They're going to say, you got to get rid of this guy.
That's right, because of what he did.
They're
I'm
talking
sure
to the
there was
wrong
something,
guy.
But we didn't have social media back then, so
Right.
as far as the tracing, you could have said something, and at that point, it becomes hearsay. If a friend or somebody heard you, prove it.
The only thing I can think of is Rhode Island College had a Halloween party every year called Horrorween.
Harrowing.
Yes, and they
Horror.
bands would actually come and play inside, and you were to dress up in costume. And so the year I went, I wore a kilt. I was trying to be a professional wrestler who wore a kilt into the ring.
Okay.
Someone could misconstrue it as, well, Joe's wearing a skirt.
Yeah.
So that's out there, Dave. Just in case.
Okay.
It's the only thing I can really think of.
We
Yeah,
hold
you
a
haven't
bottle of
im-
scotch.
No, I was not. They didn't allow.
You
had us
haven't
drink
impressed me
beforehand.
yet, Joe.
No, okay. It's not.
Doesn't
worthy.
cross over the line in
Not-
our policy handbook.
Not yet. Okay. All right. But
As a,
how,
as a matter of fact,
how
our
far?
inclusion policy would definitely provide for allowing that.
I'm thinking, how far back do we go in people's lives where they say you shouldn't have done that, you should have known better, so we need to what are we doing? Place you on leave
Now that you
and have an
mention that-
investigation.
Now that you mention that, in high school, the football players we had an assembly, and the football players did a skit on the cheerleaders. So we all dressed up. We dressed up like
As the cheerleaders. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, same
And-
thing.
So I mean, I'm sure that's out there somewhere. They probably have pictures.
But did you own slaves?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was trying. Now I'm trying to. It's so far back. I'm trying to think of that actual event. Did anybody wear anything that was wrong, considered wrong today? And I don't think so. The funniest one is I had a roommate in college, and he was about 6'7", and we kept asking him, "Well, what's your costume going to be?" And he said it's a surprise. He didn't want to let on what it was. And he did such an excellent job. I think he won some. They gave out prizes, best costume. He came as the Jolly Green Giant. He was encased. He was encased in green, and the thing that the giant wears. I have to look at the can again, but it was perfect. I'm like, wow. But so going in green face is okay
Right.
because the Martians haven't come down to sue us yet.
Yeah.
So that was deemed all right.
Well, geez, Joe. Well, it's one of these things. I think most of the people listening to this program will understand what's going on. First of all, we have a much more mature audience than you'll get on social media in many cases, where they've lived a lot of life, they've seen things, they've made their mistakes, everybody has something in their past that they probably would do better or differently in light of further information or how it worked out and stuff like that. Are you kidding me? I'll tell you this now. Get ready now. Get the pickets out.
Okay.
Get the flames, the
flames
torches
and
and
the torches?
pitchforks and the rest of that stuff outside the radio station. For Our Lady of Victory's Church, way back in the got to be the 80s, early 80s, they asked me, Mim Barsamian was the pianist, Evelyn Zifkak, who was producing a show. They did minstrel shows back then. Mm-hmm. Back then, we did not do the interlocutors on each side of the stage in blackface, which is normally done with that. But no, they said, no, that's not necessary to pull this off. We're just going to be a nice little talent show. We'll run it about the same way as a minstrel show, but we don't have to go into that kind of stuff. So they were smart enough not to do any of that. And I said, well, that's a very nice decision. I kind of agree with that. But they asked me to do a song. An old song that was a hit back in the 1940s. Spike Jones did the song. Because I'm kind of a happy guy on the air. They said, let's get him to do a novelty song. So I did. And I did Der Fuhrer's Face. Does anybody remember what that song is?
Yes.
Right. You strut around in a Nazi uniform and you mock the Nazi salute and you mock the hierarchy of the Nazi command. It's a big satire.
Yeah.
But somebody out there's got a picture of me in some Nazi khaki uniform with boots. Sure.
Yeah. All right. So now Dave is a Nazi.
So now if they took that picture and they put it
Out
up
of
on
context.
social media, look at this guy is prancing around like a Nazi. No, I wasn't. I was helping raise money for a church.
But this guy in Mass says he admits that he did do a Nazi salute as part of his fraternity. I don't know what the fraternity was.
Wow,
was
you
doing.
know, it could be a fraternal hazing.
It could have been.
Back in the 80s,
Yeah.
those were legal. Today, they don't happen.
Well, they do happen there, but
not
they were
supposed to
illegal.
happen, yeah.
But he's going to remain on leave until the investigation into the matter. It's a matter now, and it must be investigated, even though he's admitted to it. I don't know what more. Well, what else? I guess it's more. Well, what else have you done?
Why would you not admit to it?
Well, that's right.
You got to be a creep to not admit to it. You got to be a creep to deny it.
He's doing it right by saying, "Yeah, I did that."
Right.
Well, then we have to investigate because you must have done more, and let's find out. And have you done more after college? And what have you done? What are you doing in your private life that we need to know about that we can run you over with a
All
rail?
right, folks, just hang on a minute while I unbutton my shirt for the evisceration.
Yeah.
I remember, when you think about Halloween or shows or whatever. I had a friend of mine who Halloween dressed as the Hunchback of Notre Dame, right?
Mm-hmm.
He, put a lump and kind of. I mean, is that making fun of
The French?
physically? No, but physically challenged people.
Okay.
It's crazy.
Well, if we're gonna change all the pro football teams and the college teams, I'm going to have to absolutely insist that Notre Dame change. I'm of Irish heritage, and the leprechaun is a stereotype. He's got his fists up
Celtics.
like he's going to fight. No, the Celtic guy is not looking for a fight.
Oh, okay.
He's just spinning a basketball and he's
But
up the
I mean,
shillelagh. The fighting Irish, he's got his fists up. He's ready to go.
How far
I'm
do
very
you bring
upset.
it? I mean,
I don't know how
Los
far do you
Angeles
bring it.
Angels. Is that religious? The Padres, is that religious?
It is. Well, it was. It used to be a Franciscan friar swinging a bat.
Public
But,
financing on the stadium.
New Orleans Saints.
Yeah.
How
So
far,
far-
do you go?
Right now, those names are okay.
Yeah.
We'll worry about that
Today.
after. But we got to get rid of the others
After they're
first.
done messing around with you on all the other low-hanging fruit, then they'll go after you on everything else. I said it yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a bunch of really lonely people who want to change the entire world and feel empowered. And 2-year-old kids feel that way when they're growing up. The terrible twos, it's because they don't get their limitations. And they don't get where the line, where the boundaries are. And they're getting the news, they're getting the memo, and adjusting to the society where you can't do anything you want anytime you want, and it's not understood if you misbehave. And that's why the terrible twos are the big adjustment age. Well, there's a lot of people out there having terrible twos all over again.
Okay.
And they're in their 20s.
and older. Some of them.
So we can change the world. Okay, this will change the world. I can't believe this is so stupid. Thank you.
But it's out there all the time. Well, we got to take a
I
break
know.
on the Coffee and program. So, Paul, it's time for a second message from the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce.
Well, thank you. I mentioned earlier things are starting to come alive in the business world, and we're really happy about that. I did something last night that I went to a chamber member to dine, took a picture of the meal, and we posted on Facebook just to give a little publicity to that chamber member. So again, we're starting to get back out there. The adjustments that have been made, I'm impressed when I go out and I see how quickly people have had to adapt to a new model for them, particularly restaurants who the takeout thing was new to them. Decks are being built to accommodate outside dining. So kudos to all those folks. But the chamber has been, throughout this whole pandemic, has been very resourceful. We've kept our members informed of the latest news that they should be aware of. We've distributed, I think collectively now, we got another allocation, probably about 25,000 masks and hand sanitizer and eye protection. So this is something that, again, Chamber of Commerce does many things. We're resourceful. We can help you during this time as you reopen. Now's the time to let people know that you are open. Now's a great time to market your business. So we can help you there. We are monitoring. Joe mentioned earlier about the State House. We are monitoring what's happening up at the State House. We want to make sure that whatever the lawmakers are doing are business friendly, and we do have someone up at the State House keeping an eye on that. So there's a lot that the Chamber has to offer. Collectively, we call it the Chamber Edge, and we have a slogan that says business matters, and it really does to us. So if you're a Chamber member, we want to thank you for your support. If you're not a member, like I said, now's the time. I think you'd be surprised how affordable it is and what you get for your investment. So you can find out more by visiting our website at nrichamber.com, or you can give us a call at 334-1000. We are fully staffed now. We're all back in the office, so give us a call anytime.
Very good, and more of the Coffee and program is coming your way. Comments and questions can be called in at 766-1240, or you can email them in to coffee@wonsocketradio.com.
Here's a message from Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse on Social Street in Woonsocket. They want you to know they are open for takeout. Tuesday through Friday, senior hours from 8:30 in the morning till 10 a.m. 10 to 6 for everybody. Saturday hours are 8 to 4. Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse, Social Street, Woonsocket.
A message from the Carew Investment Group, 68 Cumberland Street, at the corner of Clinton and Cumberland Streets here in Woonsocket. The Carew Investment Group offers you personal management of investment accounts. Depending on what you're looking for, whether it be to enhance your current income, a 401k rollover, or retirement income, we'll put together a plan for you. We focus on using quality dividend-paying stocks of companies that you know, investment quality bonds, exchange-traded funds, and use the advantages offered by IRAs. You can contact Paul or Ed at the Carew Investment Group anytime for a free no-obligation portfolio review at 765-8880. Our office is at 68 Cumberland Street in Woonsocket, and that telephone number again is 765-8880. You can also email Ed at ed@carewinvestmentgroup.com or visit the website at www.carewinvestmentgroup.com. Securities offered through Bolton Global Capital, member FINRA and SIPC. Advisory services offered through Bolton Global Asset Management, a registered investment advisor.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England.
Music all day, the wonderful Owen way.
Right, day and night, W-O-O-N, Woonsocket.
Coffee In on ON Radio. This is Joe Callahan here with Paul Willett and Dave Richards. Nice to have you along with us today. So we got our first tropical storm of the season is coming this evening to say hello.
We're
it
dodging
isn't.
the brunt of it.
No, it isn't. It's the 6th.
To come by this way, though?
No, it's the 6th.
Where do the other
Sixth
5
tropical
go?
Is
Is it?
Yeah.
Where do the others go?
They give them names now
I
when
know
they're
they
just
do.
a shower over Africa. They give them a name now. Just because you can't hype something that doesn't have a name.
Right. But is this the first one that's come by the coast?
This is the one that has come closest to us so far.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much you want to talk about this, Joe, but I spent a lot of time with the professors down at URI, and one of them still owes me Tootsie Rolls because we put a bet on how many storms we'd have. But I'll have to go collect from him one day. But there's an awful lot of hurricane work that goes on at URI. In fact, when I was working there for Dr. Ballard, one of the places where a lot of our computers and TV servers and things were kept was a computer room. And on one side was our stuff. On the other side was cabinet after cabinet after cabinet stacked up, 20 computers high, of all computers that did nothing but crunch numbers and probabilities for hurricanes. It's at University of Rhode Island in Narragansett. You know that? Where an awful lot of that stuff is done. It's true. So there was a lot of discussion about this going on. The word from the National Hurricane Center says that this season they're expecting it to look a lot like 2005. Quickly, does anybody remember 2005?
Andrew? Was that Andrew?
No, 2005 was in the 90s. Andrew was in the 90s.
2005.
Well, I remember the year. I don't remember the hurricane season, though.
Well, because I have family that lives in Florida, I was particularly conscious of this. 2005 was the year they had 3 Category 2 or higher hurricanes
All right.
cross in one summer the Florida Peninsula.
That's significant.
I think the first one was Dennis. And like that. So anyway, the point is that it was an extremely active hurricane season where there was a lot of landfalls going on. So, and they're saying that this year could be very much like that one. So,
Okay.
for the folks who are down there snowbirding,
They should be back here.
that's right. They should be back here by now, right? Hey, good thing for you, huh? For us up here, there's one thing that the professors and I always agreed on. Rhode Island has been due for a direct hit by a hurricane. Has been
years.
due for over 20 years.
Yeah.
As
overdue,
as
man.
the probabilities go and the cycle of how these things happen. The last significant one we had was Hurricane Bob back in the 90s.
I remember that.
And Hurricane Bob was responsible for the extinction of an entire species of butterfly, which was only found on New Shoreham, Rhode Island.
It
And
wiped
that
them out?
butterfly is wiped out.
Okay.
And it did a lot of other things as well. But that was the last significant one. Of course, we had the Hurricane Gloria back in the 80s and like that. But we are due to have one whack us good.
Okay.
So all I'm saying is, don't look to the skies. It's too early for all that yet. But guess what? Don't be really surprised if we get one in the Keister this year.
Okay. On a completely different subject, Paul, does the chamber?
He couldn't wait to change that subject. Eh?
Well, we were done with that one.
All righty.
Paul, does the chamber have a stance on the whole situation with mail-out ballots?
No.
Okay.
No, we.
I didn't
Smart
think
folks,
you would,
eh?
but
It's very smart.
but I wanted to
Don't
check.
get into that one.
yeah.
We haven't. I don't even know if it's come up for discussion at a board meeting.
You mean at the chamber?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's got nothing to do with business, so I didn't think you would have anything to do with it. But I just wanted to check.
What about fire, Paul? Are you for fire or against
Yes.
fire?
Well, it all depends.
Are you cooking? Then yes.
I love fire for the grill. I
Yeah,
mean, it's
that's right.
necessary to get what you want.
And you know,
I'm sorry. I'm being real cynical and jocular today, but it's my overload protection from all the really stupid stuff that's going on out there.
you know, candles are always nice. A little
Yeah.
flame going. That's,
Yeah,
that's
right.
Nothing wrong with that. Until they get together with all their other flames.
Yeah,
Next year,
that-
poof.
We could get some heated discussion on that topic. I
That's
suppose.
funny, huh? So you're going to run out, Paul, and buy Kurt Schilling's video game?
No, I'm not.
It's being
But
remastered.
I will tell you, I was, and I heard that, but I actually have a commemorative bottle, Kurt Schilling Chardonnay.
I didn't know he made wine.
And well, I
Or a
mean,
vineyard.
you could go to Diamond Hill. Or
Yeah.
Any,
And he just
any vineyard
and put a label
get
on
your,
it.
Your label on
Okay,
it. But, I've had it for years. It's down in down in the cellar, and I'm wondering if maybe it'd be worth something someday. Who knows? I'll auction it off with a bloody sock and maybe make some money.
It's too bad in the story about the Kurt Schilling's video game. It doesn't it mentions the name of it, but it doesn't mention what the game. What do you do in the game?
Well, just from the name, you could figure it out. It's one of those revenge military
Shoot.
type of. Yeah, right.
Well-
it's a body count game.
Kingdoms of Amalur: Re-Reckoning. It sounds more like a medieval when you talk about kingdoms as opposed to warfare
Oh, I see.
out of the 20th century kind of thing. It looks like you go
It
back.
doesn't matter. It's a body count movie. Body count show.
If you possibly.
Yeah.
I just don't remember. Before the whole 38 Studios fell apart, I remember Kurt Schilling went on David Letterman's show and was promoting it, that it was coming, and I just don't remember what he said, what the game was going to be about. It's a tough racket, video
One of
games.
those typical things where, like you said,
You run
military
around
thing,
and-
you're blowing things up.
You
and
kill as many
shooting
people as you can, and then we capture the castle, and then you move on to capture other castles.
pretty much.
Right. Hey,
Some
'cause
people
after
love-
you've captured a castle, what else are you going to do?
Some people
Capture another one.
You capture the next one. People love that stuff.
Yeah.
Some people do.
Not me.
Not me either. So no, I guess I won't be running out to purchase that to play on my Xbox or my PlayStation 4. Not that I have one of those.
Well, I
either.
don't know, but Paul, if you ran out and bought that and put it together with a bloody sock and the wine, you might get a couple of
Yeah,
bucks.
there you go.
You know?
There you go. We'll
Five
we'll
altogether?
Donate it to the next silent auction that I participate in.
Milk Fun's coming up in December.
Oh, there you go. All right. Time for another break on the Coffee and Program. Time for the forecast being brought to you by the Ad Council. Cloudy skies today with a high temperature near 83, and there's a chance of showers and thunderstorms after 2 p.m. Tonight, cloudy skies, showers, possibly thunderstorms. Some of the storms could produce heavy rain, and we'll have a low temperature around 72. National Weather Service says chance of rain is wet 100% this evening, so it's definitely going to rain tonight. Saturday's forecast, mostly cloudy, high near 84. Slight chance of some showers in the morning. Saturday night, mostly cloudy, low around 71. Sunday, sunny and a high near 88. Monday, mostly sunny and a high near 87. Currently outside the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street, we have 81 degrees. When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers, but that's okay. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same. For more information about adoption, visit adoptuskids.org.
I'm here with Kara Benjamin of the Benjamin Insurance Agency. Kara, tell me about your agency.
Sure. We started our agency from scratch, which means we opened with no customers. We have grown because of all the family, friends, and locals that supported us over the years. We are proudly woman-owned and operated since 2006. We're a family business, mother and daughter team, so you get two different generations coming together to get the best of both worlds.
You're in good hands with Allstate and Kara and Celeste Benjamin of the Benjamin Insurance Agency, 125 Eddie Dowling Highway, across from Dowling Village in North Smithfield, 765-5000.
Our business is truly a referral business, and we have built it based on our premier service level and commitment to what we do. If you are looking for personalized service with people who care, that would be us.
So you're remodeling your home, and you want to find just the right flooring. So off you go to DRL Carpet. Why? because they have the best selection and prices in Rhode Island and Massachusetts. That means you don't have to wait. Plus, it means you can get it installed now. So first you get the best price, next you get the best service, and you get the best selection. Whether you're looking for carpet, tile, hardwood floors, the place to shop is DRL Carpet, 27 Veterans Way, Woonsocket, next to World War II Veterans Memorial Park. DRL Carpet reminds you there's a big difference between getting the job done and getting the job done right. DRL Carpet of Woonsocket.
Hi, this is Casey Kasem. We've been counting down the hits together since the days of cool shades, hot pants, and tie-dye shirts. I hope you can join me this weekend when I recount the hits from 40 to number 1, just the way I did back then. It's American Top 40 the 70s right here.
Join Casey counting them down this Saturday afternoon at 1 p.m. right here on ON AM and FM, sponsored by Paul Vanas and Associates Real Estate in Lincoln.
It's Coffee In on ON Radio. Joe Callahan here, along with Paul Willett and Dave Richards. And Dave's going to do a first commercial for the Valley Breeze newspaper. So take it away there, Dave.
Oh, yeah. Valley Breeze, your publication in Northern Rhode Island that does all kinds of wonderful things for you. I have in my hands a representative copy of the Cumberland-Lincoln Valley Breeze and also the North Smithfield, Blackstone, and Woonsocket one. That's the ones we get here. I'm looking at the inserts. What's in the inserts here? Dave's Fresh Marketplace and Dean College has a little insert there in the Valley Breeze this week. Taking a look at the front page, well, they've got coverage, of course, of the July 4th Arnold Mills 4th of July parade and road race last Saturday. Full color picture. There's Joyce Hindle Cucciani, along with Mike Tassoni there with an American flag, attaching it to a car. They also have some interesting things here about Carriage Heights in Lincoln, memories of Ann and Hope, special story from Melanie Tebow of the Valley Breeze staff, and of course Cumberland Police, among others. But Cumberland Police had 126 official complaints on record for fireworks going off in neighborhoods.
From when does it have dates? Do you know?
Through Monday, July 6th.
Wow. I wonder when they started. Back in June?
I did not find it bad this year.
Other people did.
In other years, you'd hear it a couple of weeks before, a couple of weeks afterwards. I didn't. In this neighborhood here, they let them off on 4th of July on Saturday night, believe me. And they did a big job. And there was some illegal fireworks along with illegal stuff going on with our neighbors in this neighborhood. How do I know that they're illegal? Because some of the parts of aerial rockets ended up in our parking lot.
Yeah, I saw them.
The debris, after it goes up and goes kaboom and stuff like that, came down in our parking lot. I hope people don't think I was the one that was setting them off. I wasn't doing it, but we just sat back, and Diddy says, "Oh my goodness, it's pretty bad." Yeah, it is. But by midnight, 3 a.m, it was all over. So that wasn't too bad, and there was nothing left. They must have burnt them all up Saturday night because there was nothing left on Sunday. I haven't heard a fireworks since.
All right,
in this neighborhood anyway.
We heard them all weekend.
Did you? Yeah. In the North Smithfield, Blackstone, and Woonsocket edition of the Valley Breeze I'm holding in my hands here, they have pictures, full-color pictures of a lemonade stand on the side of the road where the wave parade was going by in North Smithfield to commemorate the 4th. And there's also an interesting story from Lauren Clem about the how COVID-19 may have saved, at least for a little while longer, the Stamina Mills office building on School Street in Forestdale. Mm-hmm. You know, that decrepit old building that looks like it should have, fallen down 20 years ago is still standing.
Right near
originally,
the railroad tracks.
Originally it had $25,000 in the budget to tear it down, but the town budget has been now officialized. And they took it out and they put it in contingency fund because they have no idea if they're going to get money from the city. So anything that they didn't have to do, they rearranged things and they didn't. So right now, it's not on the chopping block. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's decrepit and it's abandoned and it's condemned, but they're not going to tear it down right away.
Okay.
So that's interesting, I think. All right. Of course, they have a full story in here from Lauren Clem on the new Higher Education Center. stepping stone for Main Street, according to officials here in Woonsocket. And a nice human interest story you'll enjoy reading. Grab this and read it on Sunday morning and make you feel warm and good all day long, from Lauren Clem as she visited the Woonsocket Harris Public Library, where they have a special visitor, keeping the librarians company over the past few weeks. Yes, they don't have, it's closed to the public. They don't have people walking through there all the time. But a woodchuck in the neighborhood of the library
Wanders over, says
comes
hello.
over to the windows. There's a color picture of the woodchuck peeking through the windows at the library at the Woonsocket Harris
right.
Public Library on Clinton Street. A great, heartwarming story. You get it all, plus great inserts and ads all over the place. The Valley Breeze, free where you shop every Thursday.
You talk about one of the stories in there about recollections of Ann and Hope. And I know many people that would go to the Ann and Hope store in Cumberland. It was so unique because it was the old mill and like that. But then they would go to the Ann and Hope that was in Warwick. And they said,
Not the same.
this is not Ann and Hope. It was bright, and where's the black ceiling, and where's the chain that brought you your cart from the second floor to the first floor?
Right.
I go, that's Ann and Hope is the one
And the
in
ramps
Cumberland.
between sections.
Yes, that's right. And the uneven
And
floor.
huge, ugly chestnut beams.
Yes.
They were 12 foot wide.
They're right in the middle of the floor.
Yeah.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Though. Those chestnut beams, they're repurposing. Those they can be beautiful. They really can.
They can.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, everybody's got memories. I grew up in North Attleboro, and we used to make, that was a big deal. That
Yeah.
was a
Trip to
field
Ann and Hope.
going to Cumberland. Wow.
It took you 5 minutes to get there.
But
It was more extensive trip for us in Pasco.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
My father.
me and my 5 siblings and Mom and Dad would go down to Ann and Hope down there. Yeah. That was a pack your lunch type of trip, right? That
Yeah.
one was.
She
From
probably
Pasco
is.
to Cumberland. Wow.
You probably actually
Clear across the state.
Stay in the Red Rock Motel on the way, or up in North Attleboro.
Your mother must have spent quite a bit of money then, because she probably didn't make that trip often.
Right.
So we're going to go twice a year?
Yeah.
So we're going to shell out some cash
Yeah.
on that one trip.
Well, when you got 6 kids, you
Yes.
spend a lot of money wherever you go.
Yeah. Well, everyone's getting new pants. Everyone's got to get a new shirt,
Right.
Maybe shoes, kind of thing. Used to buy a lot of record albums from Ann and
Yeah?
Hope, yeah. And when I went with my parents, that they would drop me off there. Okay, look at the records for a while they went and looked at something else. Yep, perfectly fine. And just great.
It's funny what you remember. I can remember, certainly that tram or whatever it was you called it to get the
chain,
carriages
yeah.
up the chain to the second floor. But I don't know why. I just remember a huge table of towels, and you just went through the towels to select the. I mean, they were all mixed up.
While you were waiting for your cart?
Well, no, but there was this huge table of towels, and I remember my mother buying towels. Of course, I was just a kid, but I don't know why that's what I remember of Ann and Hope. But
Okay.
Sam Walton got it right when he came to look at it, right?
Well, you took it for granted when it was happening, but I never understood why the people that put your cart on the chain, they were dressed like a policeman.
Well, it's like a security guard.
They were like a security guard. I guess maybe they
well,
just
they didn't want
rotated
kids
around.
to get in a carriage and think it's a
I
ski
never
lift or
see.
something.
That's what I thought it was going to be a ride. All right. Why can't we do this? It wasn't until years
That
later.
sounds like a lawsuit in the making.
Well, that's it.
Right there.
When you're 5 and 6, you don't think lawsuits. You think, hey, this would be fun.
I forgot Junior in the carriage. Hey, can I just make a comment about that
Please do.
education center? Hopefully everybody in Woonsocket would be on board with that, because that's something that, with this whole COVID crisis, a lot of people are going to be out of work permanently. There's going to be a need for training. I think right now, we were up to like 18%, and it's come down a little bit, but that could be a good thing for Main Street. I think that people will, attend classes there. It's got the backing of CVS, Amica, and other large companies. But, that activity, you go to a restaurant. We have a new Thai restaurant opening up on Main Street near Timeless Antiques. And, you know, Main Street itself needs an infusion, and I think this could be a good thing. So hopefully the funding will come through, and it's not gonna. They talked about Westerly in the article. I've been down to that education center. That's got more of a focus to satisfy electric boat for all the folks they need with the subcontracts they have. But you know, I hope it happens. I really hope it happens.
Well, we had the mayor on yesterday on Coffee Inn, and she was still very excited about this prospect.
Well, you know, that announcement was originally made, I think, 2 years ago. I remember the picture, John Gregory, the mayor,
the
governor.
And the governor.
Yep,
At the mini park.
Yep.
We were there. We videoed it.
Yeah.
And there's been, you know, they've looked at a few locations in Woonsocket. I mean, it was decided Woonsocket is where we want this. And I've said it all along. You know, a satellite of a college or university would be a good thing for this area of the state, and hopefully it'll happen.
Especially, well, I mean, it's going to. I don't think it happened for this fall, but with URI saying, okay, in-state students, we're not giving you housing this year.
Yeah.
You know, the students from up this way, if they could have a satellite campus for URI up here, that would be great.
Well, it depends on what discipline they're studying and all the rest of that.
Well, what happens is when you have activity like that, like I said, some of the supportive businesses in the area are going to capitalize on it, because you know you could stop for a sandwich, stop for a bite to eat, or, you know, if the
coffee,
and if you have a real bad experience in the classroom, you go have a drink somewhere after, you know. But no, I think it spurs economic activity in the area, and hopefully it'll happen. So,
have you
city
seen that?
councilors hopefully people will be on board with this.
Paul, have you seen that in Westerly? At the one around the campus there?
The one in Westerly is right on the railroad tracks, and you know, there's a fence there, but if you hopped over, the Westerly train station is directly across from it. It's kind of removed where it is, and you know, I'm sure site selection, it was affordable, and so there isn't
there's a lot to consider.
Yeah, there isn't a lot right in the immediate area. We do have a chamber member right down the street, Grace Ale Brewing, and you know, they offer small amounts of food. And there's a few, I think, pizza shops, sandwich shops, but the location itself is a little removed. Completely different model.
Than this.
Completely different model.
Yes, Dave.
Joe, I don't know if you remember that where this school is going on the third floor of the commercial building, that was the original home of this radio station.
I
third floor, the third floor right rear of the commercial building. There's still the big main studio is still there, and the control room and all the rest of that stuff. It's all not been used since 1970, but for 25 years that was the home of the radio station.
We don't have any equipment still there, do we?
I don't believe so, no.
And then,
we should go take a look at that.
Was the move to, you know, just down the street from the stadium, was that where you went after? Or?
No, there was the station had its radio tower on Getchell Avenue in those days, and the main studio and the offices were at 99 Main Street in the commercial building. And when the times came along, the building got older, it's harder to keep it up, it wasn't as comfortable a place to broadcast from. They built a brand new building, attached it to the transmitter building on Getchell Avenue, that was specially made for studios. They made it look like a house so it would blend in with the residential theme in the area, but everybody thought that was like a house that was converted. No. That was actually built and designed from the first stick all the way to be studios with the double walls and all the rest of that. It's a very nice place. That, too, got very old, and by the time I bought the station, I looked at it, and unfortunately there was the AM and the FM, and the FM was owned by a different company, and they had the DJs that were playing the boom boxes out, the radios in the cars at 3 in the morning. The neighbors were getting pretty tired of us. So I'm the one that decided to leave the residential neighborhood and go commercial. And I came, when I bought the place in 1990, we moved down to One Social Street. And we spent 20 wonderful years there until the bad times came and the bank took over the building and we got thrown out of there. Now we own our little house here on Park Avenue, and this really was a house that we converted over. But it's yeah, right. Hey, listen, nobody cares as long as it comes in nice and clear on the radio dial, right?
That's right.
So,
all right, we're going to take a break on the Coffee Ann program. This segment of Coffee Ann has been sponsored by the Valley Breeze newspaper.
When you want to know what's coming up in your town, there's news, as it's reported, and there are public notices. Public notices, also called legal ads, are placed by cities and towns in newspapers to alert you of important meetings that'll be coming up soon. At the Valley Breeze newspapers, you'll find public notices right up front, generally on page 4. They aren't tiny, hard-to-read ads in the back of the paper. In the Breeze, ads are easy to find and read. We want you to know. In addition, all public notices are placed online at valleybreeze.com, where they remain posted until the public meeting is passed. It's just the right thing to do. If you live in Cumberland, Lincoln, North Smithfield, or another local town, you'll find public notices in the Breeze every week and online at valleybreeze.com. Go to the homepage and click Public Notices. You'll find them all. Breeze public notices that will keep you informed, ahead of the crowd, in the paper and online. Thanks for noticing.
Riverfront Patio Dining awaits you at River Falls Restaurant. Enjoy your lunch or dinner as you overlook the Blackstone River. Here are some of the wonderful items on the menu: steak and peppers pizza, baked stuffed haddock, and choice filet mignon. Make your River Falls Restaurant reservations today by calling 401-235-9026. 235-9026, or go online to riverfallscomplex.com. You'll love the Riverfront Patio Dining at River Falls Restaurant, Market Square, Woonsocket. When it comes to kitchen and bath remodel projects, no one wants to feel like they have to tame a lion. That's why the team at Countertops by Superior consistently deliver the highest quality and customer satisfaction you have come to know and expect. Countertops by Superior has a 5-step process to getting new kitchen or bath countertops in your home. First step is a free, all-inclusive, in-home sales quote. Second step is you choose a stone for your countertops. They have beautiful engineered and natural stones. Third step is they will visit your home and formulate an exact template for your countertops. Fourth step is you come back to the showroom to digitally lay the template out on your chosen stone. The fifth step is installation day. Countertops by Superior invites you to their showroom, and you can see for yourself all the beautiful stones in the slab room. No lion taming at Countertops by Superior, 840 Cumberland Hill Road, Woonsocket. Visit them online at countertopsbysuperior.com.
Hi, everybody. Saxophonist Paula Atherton here.
And I'm Dave Koz. Joining me this weekend will be saxophonist Paula Atherton. She's got some new music to share and some great stories to tell. So I hope you'll be here for that as well. And check out davekoz.com during the week. And be here this weekend for Paula Atherton and yours truly on another edition of the Dave Koz Radio Show.
Hi there, fans of smooth jazz. The Dave Koz Radio Show can only be heard on ON AM and FM, 1240 AM, 99.5 FM every Sunday, twice on Sundays, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. and 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. The Dave Koz Radio Show is brought to you by the Carew Investment Group. It's the Dave Koz Radio Show every Sunday right here on
ON AM and FM.
All right, it's Coffee In on ON AM and FM. This is Joe Callahan here with Dave Richards and Paul Willett.
I am.
Talking about that higher education center coming to Woonsocket. And because we were talking about they'd be taking over the second and third floor of this building, not dealing with the bottom floor. But there's a bar that's on that first floor. And now you're saying that there has to be a separation between the school
Rhode
and
Island liquor law for liquor licenses addresses the proximity of liquor licensees from places like schools and houses of worship.
Wouldn't he be grandfathered in? He was there first.
Well, he might be. It seems to me that reasonable people can make reasonable decisions, but you asked, is there a rule? There's a rule.
Yeah.
And
interesting.
And I don't know how specific the language is, but this is adult learning.
Yeah, that's not a high school.
You know, I mean, this is training for existing businesses, or I should say, a lot of the training they're looking at is for the incumbent workforce and upgrading their skills. So I don't know if that would apply in this case, but
okay. Well, I'm sure that they'll be addressing that issue with the owners of that establishment.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So it would have been nice if we could have saved the old radio studio and taught people how to do radio and television. That radio studio is big enough to put like TV cameras, lights. You could have 5 different sets of television in there. You could have radio, all kinds of things, but there's no market for people learning that business.
Yeah,
because the market that we have already is pretty well addressed by New England Tech and several broadcasting schools, and like the Williams School of Journalism and URI and lots of other different places that teach you those sort of things. So there's not really a market for that re-education. I don't see it. I mean, there's not a lot of jobs going on.
Yeah.
So we're not expanding our staff by 5, 6 people, a year. It'd be nice, but we're not.
It's not considered one of those growing sectors in terms of the job market.
Well, it's growing, but not for human
TV?
employment.
What about TV?
Television isn't. No? Television is laying off. Oh my God, it's brutal how television is laying off. It always took many more people to put out a television show than it did to put out a radio program. But now you've got whole televisions that exist with maybe 1.5 people.
Wow. Okay. Tough.
Well, the cameras are on robots.
Yeah, I know that one. That
so there's no camera operators, right? I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm saying that's the 21st century, folks. You got to get with it. And if we want to train people to do radio and television, where are they going to work after we train them? Mm-hmm. And that's why I'm saying the job market isn't growing for that.
Okay. Well, Woonsocket Career and Tech Center still has a media course where kids can learn, camera producing, that sort of thing. But that's at the high school level, and I would assume that if that's what you want to pursue, you'd probably go, like you said, New England Tech, and it's the only place. That,
or URI, because they have their own studios there. CCRI has theatrical arts, and they have a television branch as well. There's places to go, so you wouldn't start a new one.
Rick's got a communications program.
Yeah,
as well.
Oh, Rick always turned out the best broadcasters. The
TV
best broadcasters came out of Rhode Island College.
Thanks,
always.
Dave.
Seriously.
I'm one of those.
The URI people I would have to brainwash and train all over again from day one. The Rick kids got it.
Really?
They got it.
And it's living proof.
Living proof.
Well, I'm just saying what the programs are like. I was a consumer of, the people that were trained in those institutions. And when they came to me looking for work, the ones who were more ready to work, who understood commercial broadcasting, were the ones from Rhode Island College. And you know the reason? They didn't have an over-the-air broadcast station.
No, we had a carrier current, is
right.
what it was called at
the
time.
They didn't have an over-the-air broadcast. URI has a big stereo FM station.
Yeah.
Everybody gets a half hour. Nobody has to care if anybody's listening. Nobody has to get any advertising. Well, when you get into commercial broadcasting, you don't get it, how it all works. But at Rick, they had to, because they had the scrounge to get people to listen to that thing, because they didn't have a big over-the-air signal. They had
changed now, though.
They had a speaker down in the cafeteria to get people to listen to them.
It's changed. They've got its 90-point-something there.
Whatever, I'm just saying. But
now.
That's why they always had the best broadcasters came out of it. And you used to sell, because you didn't have the over-the-air constraints,
right.
You used to be able to sell ads on your little carrier current station, and it was legal.
Mm-hmm. And I noticed when I was there, it was the staff at the college station. It was split in half.
Yeah.
They were the people that wanted to get into the business,
right,
and really worked at it, and then there were the people that wanted to be there to listen to music,
right.
And there were two different types of people.
Sure.
and there were the ones that wanted to get into it. Most of them did somewhere. They were very serious about it. So I was part of the latter.
If we had the time, we could go down a list of people right off the top of our head and I'll bet you every single name people would know.
Mike Montecalvo.
There you go.
Comes right to the top. Right to the top.
Sure.
He's
and
doing
others
quite well.
that are,
And there
that
are
are
others.
working in the business right
Yeah.
Was Mike from Woonsocket? No.
Yeah,
Yes, he
grew
was.
up-
Yeah,
he grew up.
I thought so.
I gave him
Yeah.
his first job
Yep.
because he grew up he grew up on Capwell Avenue, which is a block over from Getchell.
So you could walk to work.
he cut through the backyard.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Anything else fun going on? Let's see. Sports returned last night. Did you see that? Major League Soccer had their first couple of games.
And there was a nail
it's-
biter.
They have a nail biter with the Revolution.
You know
That's
what
right.
was- you
the
know what
winning
was
goal
weird?
was scored 4 minutes left in the hour.
Last weekend, they ran Indy, and it just seemed strange that the stands were empty, and you know that. I mean, the cameras usually they'll pan the crowds, and I
No.
don't think the drivers can hear people cheering or whatever. But it's weird.
Yeah.
To
It's
see
weird.
nobody there.
Yeah.
Tis.
It is odd.
Yeah.
And there was no one watching the soccer games either. They were just playing. And the Red Sox had a scrimmage. That was nice.
And the home team scored 5 at the end of the scrimmage.
I'm sure as a baseball player or a soccer player, whatever, you do get energized by the crowd.
Oh, sure.
But
Yeah.
it's just, I mean, they're out there playing a game, and it's just them. And I'd be interested to hear some comments from the athletes themselves to say what the experience was like.
And it's funny, and you're not, because that's one of the new COVID-19 rules. No reporters in the locker room to say, hey, how do you feel?
Yeah.
It's just all because Brendan McGare from The Call goes to the Fenway and watches from the press box.
Yeah.
And just reports on what he sees and like
that's
that.
it.
But he doesn't get a chance to talk to them anymore because he's just
Well,
not
I'm
allowed.
sure they'll probably come up with some type of virtual thing that
Maybe on camera kind of thing.
Zoom or whatever.
And it's funny because they're not all in the locker room either.
Some of the luxury
Some are in the
suites
luxury
and-
suites.
yeah, yeah.
I said some of your, I guess the more veteran players get the suites to change in. If you're a rookie, you're down in the locker room. That's how the pecking order goes.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, we're going to wrap it up for today. So thank you very much for listening in. And big announcement: we're going to let Paul Willett move from Fridays to Wednesdays starting next week.
Right.
Temporarily.
Temporarily.
And,
Right.
just looking
'Cause it
at the
works Paul's
calendar,
schedule.
there are the last two Wednesdays of the month. One I'm going to be away, and the other I have a 7:30 doctor's appointment. So
Oh,
Well,
come
just
on-
so
come after the
everybody,
appointment.
just so everybody understands, the chamber's very, very accommodating. They're usually here on Fridays, but because your schedule is going to change, they don't mind moving to another day so that you can be here.
yeah, temporarily.
Otherwise, you'd be
just
you'd
for
be
the-
precluded
yeah,
from being
for
here.
the rest of the summer, and it'd be good to sit down with Tim.
Yeah.
Tim Draper is
Oh, do we have to talk to Tim? Do we have to vote him into Wednesdays?
Well, I'll throw him an email.
Tim will probably say absolutely not. Absolutely not. But Navigant is a big corporate sponsor for the chamber. It'll be fun sitting with Tim.
And a rotating cast of characters from the Villa at St. Antoine.
Yes.
Will be here as well.
Not
So
characters, representatives.
I like characters better. All right, Paul. Thanks for coming.